Pull up in the gold, I'm leading. But them other man.
Yo guys, what is going on? It's your boy Blank Online, and today we are talking about Black Ops 4 once again, and who is to blame for this game. Now, Black Ops 4 to me is not a bad game in any sense of the imagination fundamentally, right? So in terms of mechanics of the game, how the game plays, and how the game feels as just a game, just as a first person shooter, Black Ops 4 is a good game. But the reason that this game falls so far short from the titles that have preceded it is because of the way that this game was developed, the amount of changes that were made to this game because of other external factors, and of course the forced revenue that Activision is obviously pushing towards Treyarch. Now, there was an article released by Kotaku that exposes what happened at Treyarch during the development of Black Ops 4, and there's a lot of things to kind of take from this article that I'll glance over a little bit right now. Originally, Black Ops 4 was meant to have a campaign, but that was cancelled in early 2018. It was meant to be played alongside a friend. You'd pick enemies to battle against and work to take down different enemies as the game progressed. So in my eyes, what this campaign was meant to look like, it was meant to look like a co-op type campaign. You're put in a setting and there's different outposts that you have to take down, and you and your buddy go ahead and take down these outposts and eventually progress through the campaign. If this was what they had planned for it, I'm glad that they did not go ahead with this campaign, because I love Call of Duty campaigns, and if you've watched this channel, you know that I love the campaigns in these games except for Black Ops 3's campaign. And if Treyarch released whatever this was meant to be honest, it would have completely killed it for me. That Black Ops 3's campaign, and if they were gonna follow that up with whatever this is, man, oh man, oh man, like seriously, that would have been fucking ass. I would just hearing that and reading that sounds fucking atrocious to me. So I'm glad that was cancelled, and I'm glad we got what we got, because if we had that, oh my god, that would have been horrible. We know that Black Ops 4 was pushed forward to be released on October the 12th in order for it not to compete with Red Dead Redemption 2, which released on October 26th. But originally, Black Ops 4 was meant to launch in November 2018, so when Call of Duty usually comes out, and now we know that it was pushed back from that original November date to the 12th of October. Seemingly, Black Ops 4 might have been pushed up a month, so we would have seen the game come out November the 12th, which makes a lot of sense, which is usually the time where we get the new Call of Duty. But as we know, it was pushed up because of Red Dead Redemption 2, that leading to the developers having to work overtime, and obviously that's not a good thing, because when things get pushed up, obviously you have to work harder and work longer in order to finish your job, leading to some frustration over at Treyarch. There's also frustration relating to Activision's decisions to force revenue. Kotaku reports that people and many developers at Treyarch are frustrated with Black Ops 4's microtransactions, which makes a lot of sense. And one of the biggest things that I'll make a separate video about, but because it doesn't really make sense with this video because we're talking about Black Ops 4, but Treyarch employees were informed late last month that the staff would be taking on a Black Ops project for 2020 after a shift in Activision's plans resulted in Sledgehammer and Raven becoming support studios. So this is what I reported on a while ago, but again, as I said, I'll make a separate video about that. But this video, we're specifically talking about who was at fault for the failures of Black Ops 4, and that has to lead and trickle down to Activision. From what this article reported, and from what the developers over at Treyarch were feeling as a result of Activision's actions, it's completely down to them as to why Black Ops 4 is not what it could have been, right? Granted, the campaign mode was completely on the developers. It was their idea to do this 2-player, whatever, tower crushing fucking thing. I don't know. Whatever that was, whatever that mode was, because that is not campaign. I refuse to call that campaign. Whatever that was completely on them. The idea because we know that Black Ops 4 was originally meant to be like an Overwatch hero type shooter. We got a sense of that with the Specialist, but it ended up being more like how we had Specialists in Black Ops 3. But we know that early on in the development of Black Ops 4, it was meant to feel a lot more like Overwatch, and how that game used heroes rather than how we have Specialists here in Black Ops 4. Again, that down to the developers to even think of putting Call of Duty down that route, because it's something that is so I don't know, criticized with Call of Duty, right? People always say every single year, oh, Call of Duty is the same game every year. Why don't they do something different? But those people aren't hardcore fans. Those people aren't the people who are buying this game every single year, playing this game every single year, constantly hours on end. Those people are the general public that play a bunch of different games, or maybe are a fan of a different franchise, that are outsiders looking in and saying, oh, why does Call of Duty look the same every single year? It's the same every single year because every single year it works. Every single year that the top selling franchise, every single year, back in the day, people were praising Call of Duty. Nowadays, not so much, but back in the day, the Call of Duty formula worked. And why break something? Don't fix what ain't broken. The common saying. The fact that Treyarch was even thinking of making Overwatch with the Call of Duty skin, stupid, absolutely stupid. Wouldn't have gone down well with fans, which is why they scrapped it. So in their initial 3-year development cycle, they had 2 major ideas that they scrapped, and that factoring in with all of the changes and all of the pushes that Activision made to get the game out early, and the seeds that needed to be planted in order for the microtransactions and post-launch monetization to work, that coupled in with everything made for Black Ops 4's failures more prevalent, right? So with Activision constantly pushing for, hey, at launch, let's make it seem like we're not gonna have any microtransactions. Let's make it seem like this game is this game and there's nothing gonna be added post-launch, so that once the reviews come in and once everyone's praising the game and once we get all of our initial sales, after that point, that's when we introduce the post-launch monetization, which is exactly what they did. It's exactly what everyone expected it to be. I don't think there's a single hardcore Call of Duty fan that looked at Black Ops 4 at launch and went, this is gonna be the game for the year. No one looked at Black Ops 4 and said, we can buy COD points, there's nothing to use it for, and it's gonna stay like that. Everyone knew that some sort of post-launch monetization was gonna come to the game. The first instance that we heard about it was when they announced the Contraband stream, and if you want to go back and watch my video where I talk about Black Ops 4 having a battle pass, I was excited, I was ecstatic, I was super duper keen for that idea, because I thought in my head, my speculation was that it was gonna be like how Fortnite does it. It was gonna be a system, a battle pass that we can purchase on our own accord and on our own doing, and we can do challenges in order to progress in the battle pass. Later on down the track, it was revealed that the battle pass was going to be free, which got me even more excited, right? So if you really think about the way that Activision marketed it, it's, hey, let's put out this little bit of information to get people excited that we're doing this thing, to make it seem like players are getting all this cool content for free. Then let's update that with a little bit more information to say, hey, it's not going to be paid, it's going to be free for all users to access, which then gets people even more excited and even more hyped and gives the company even more praise that they're doing this, right? And then they release it. And then they release the Contraband stream as well as the Blackjack shop. The Blackjack shop being originally a fully customized, like a fully cosmetic only thing, right? The whole black market was fully cosmetic for a period until the initial hype died down, once everyone got their videos out praising the battle pass, saying this is dope, this is free, this is what we do in order to progress, this is what we want to see moving forward, giving Activision and Treyarch a lot of praise. Then what Activision goes and does is then they push the developers, as reported in this Kotaku article, they push the developers and say, hey, we've got our initial hype, we've got our initial praise, people are looking at this game, people are jumping back on and playing this game, let's push it even further. What can you do as developers in order to make us more revenue as a result of our black market? And that's when Treyarch is pushed by the publisher, obviously, because if the publisher, as you know, funds these developers in order for the developers to make this game and push it out to the masses, so they have to listen to them, because without Activision, they can't do shit. They can't develop their game, they can't pay the staff to develop their game, they can't push this game out to stores worldwide, because they need the funding, they need the money of the big publishers. That's how that works in games. And then, as I said, moving on from having just purely cosmetic, they say, hey, what can you do to make us more money? DLC weapons, just like everyone expected it to be at the start of the game when nothing was there. As everyone expected, later on, they then added supply drops, reserve crates. And it's just like how it was with Black Ops 3. Literally, what, 6 months later, no, more than 6 months, 8 months later, from when the game first launched, with nothing, with the ability to buy COD points, but nothing to spend it on. From that point in October to where we are now in late June, we have a system where you can pay to win in Blackout, where you can pump ridiculous amounts of money to get virtually nothing unless you're super duper lucky, and a contraband stream that has literal no flow. It has no sense of progression, and it doesn't make any sense. It's clear to see where the blame lies. It's clear to see where this game took a turn. It's clear to see who's to blame, why these people did it, because we all know why they did it. And it's frustrating as a fan who's been playing this game since 2009 with Modern Warfare 2, to see at that point the only post-launch content was DLC, a $20 DLC pack 4 times a year. That was all there was. The game is the game for the year, and that's it. No cosmetics, no weapons, no nothing. Up until Black Ops 2, where that turned into customization packs, which cost $2, which was nothing, which was purely cosmetic. And that's where it started. When Activision saw that there was a consumer base who would buy this shit post-launch, that's when they were like, fuck me, we can make even more money out of this. How can we do it? And they did it. With COD Ghost, they amped it up. They did even more. And then with Advanced Warfare is when they went, shit, this is where it's at. This is what we're gonna do. Bam, supply drops. And here we are now with Black Ops 4, where the developers of the game are being pushed to do this, because it doesn't seem like they wanted this to happen. It doesn't seem like Treyarch wanted this to happen. It doesn't, it completely lies on Activision. Black Ops 4's failures completely lie on Activision. And it sucks. It absolutely sucks. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Who do you think is to blame? You may think it's Treyarch's to blame. You may think, why are they being pushed around by the publisher? Because in a sense, the publisher needs them too. Call of Duty is Activision's big money maker, so Activision needs these developers. Why don't the developers make a stand? What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, click subscribe if you're new here, click the bell for alerts so you don't miss out on my next video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.